This is The Drop. It's Friday. LeBron's going to give us a show on the weekend. Of course he is. This is No Dunks, presented by FanDuel. I'm Tess Mellis. With me, it's the man in the middle, Trey Kirby.
Hey-yo!
Hey-yo! And the man always making the magic happen, it's JD.
Hello.
What's up, JD? We will get to Worst of the Week with LeBron later on. It wasn't LeBron who's Worst of the Week, but we'll talk about that.
He ain't doing nothing. How can he be Worst of the Week?
Well, apparently he had some things to say.
That's true. Is that true?
According to a host
According
on
to a host.
Cleveland radio.
Yeah.
We'll get to Blazers firings and stuff. Anything else you want to talk about before we get into our draft?
I mean, look, we had to cut Jordan Walsh at the last second, Tess, but a great deal for the Celtics to bring back Jordan Walsh, and that's all that needs to be said. Great deal.
It is a good deal.
3 for 15. Great.
But first, let's get to players under the most pressure via a draft. Let's draft guys as we survey the landscape and determine, okay, signings here, signings there. Which player is actually under the most pressure? Trey, you get that first pick of this draft.
I'll get it started. We're going Trae for Trae here. Trae Young, to me, is a player who is under a ton of pressure coming into this season for the Wizards. Got a lot of dough. 4 years, $213 million contract from Washington. That comes after playing 15 games last season, Tass Mellis. That's not very many. I think he only played 5 for the Wizards. They lost all 5 of those. But look, Trae Young, his reputation, it ain't great right now. Around the league, probably the lowest it's ever been, but he's going to be 28 at the start of the season. Still young enough to be in the middle of his prime. He was also an all-star in the 24 and 25 seasons, led the league in assists in 2025. That ain't that far away. I think he's still a good player, and maybe the most encouraging thing for Trae, for the Wizards, pretty low bar for success in Washington. They're coming off a 17-win season, worst in the league. They got the number 1 draft pick. They haven't won more than 35 games since 2018. They haven't finished higher than 12th since 2022. And maybe this is crazy, but I think both could happen this year. I think if the Wizards win 36 games, that would be their most wins since 2018. And last year, that would have been 11th in the Eastern Conference. I think that would be an awesome season for Washington, doubling their wins, flirting with the play-in. I think that's got to be the goal for Washington. We'll see what they end up doing with Anthony Davis, but I think Trae Young getting this gigantic contract while they have AJ Debonsa coming in, it's like, is this going to be bad for Debonsa's development, or is Trae going to be helpful? We'll see as time goes on, but yeah, this is a guy to me where it's like, people are pretty down on Trae Young. He got traded for nothing. He got traded for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert at the deadline, and then somehow got the crazy $213 million contract. So people are looking at him sideways. He's got to play pretty well to be worth that big of a contract. And if he plays well, the Wizards will look better.
Trae Young is a fun one.
Trae Young's good.
Because, yeah, he gets paid all that money. And really, what is the pressure on him to win 25 games? I mean, I guess, so you can look at it both ways. You can say this team has been in the teens of wins the last 3 seasons, and now you've got this guy who's getting paid that much money. You can look at it both ways. You just got to be a good player to win that many games, but it is on him to play a lot of games, as you said.
They want him to play, for sure. And he's, in general, he's been pretty healthy. You know, he can play 70-plus games pretty regularly during a season. But I also think there's a little bit of pressure on Trae to change the way he played. You know, he would definitely get the selfish knock in Atlanta. Seems like even if he would lead the league in assists, people would be like, yeah, but he's not passing the ball unless he gets an assist. He wouldn't do anything off the ball. He's going to have to get guys more involved. Assuming Davis sticks around, that's a mouth to feed. Debonsa's a mouth to feed. They've got some players who were there prior to Trae Young. He's going to have to be more of a point guard than a combo guard for this Wizards team to reach whatever their ceiling is this year, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, definitely on the court, it's Debonsa has to be more of the guy, and Trae's got to be a little bit more of the guy who plays off the ball, a little, especially if Anthony Davis plays.
Anything off the ball would be nice, you know?
Yeah, and he was definitely allowing Jalen Johnson to be that guy in Atlanta as far as one guy goes, but there could be more mouths to feed, as you said, with Debonsa and Anthony Davis. So there's a pressure, basketball-wise. You go and you tear Jalen Brunson's jersey in this WWE thing, and so there's more talk of that. Yeah, his barometer is low. I mean, the temperature of Trae Young is low. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And to go get all those dollars, he's been looked at by fellow NBA players as a guy that, he peaked in 21, and since. Yeah, the barometer keeps dropping with Trae Young. You go see him in the All-Star votes for players. He keeps dropping, and so there's pressure. But how many do you expect the Wizards to win? Really?
Okay. Are you telling me Anthony Davis is on the team, and he's going to play 55 games?
Yeah. I would assume. I'm assuming the Wizards front office is going to say, Anthony Davis, you're on our team, despite these rumors.
Okay. Anthony Davis plays 50 games. Trae Young plays 60 games. Wizards should be trying to win 30 plus.
Yeah, that should be a goal.
Which would be good, sure.
Yeah, and that would be a heck of an accomplishment. All right, moving on to the second pick, my first round pick. I am going with Jayson Tatum.
Hey.
I'll throw him in there. Look, no Jaylen Brown on that team. There is so much pressure on him offensively as this ownership decides we're going in a different direction financially. Jayson Tatum's got to be the guy in late game situations to create, not only for himself, but for others. And then, if it doesn't work out that way, when he's setting up other guys, he's got to score a ton. He's got to play a ton after coming back late last season with that injury. So that just screams pressure without Jaylen Brown. Obviously, Peyton Pritchard and Derek White will help, but without him there, or without Jaylen Brown there, it's just a lot on him offensively. Simple as that. I mean, it's a pretty simple one for me. You got to be everything times two with what's happening on the court. Simple as that. It's a simple one for me, but I think here in the era where this Boston Celtics team can be the team that jumps out of the Eastern Conference, the era where we have a new winner every year, and in the Eastern Conference here now in July, it feels like it's wide open, but it's wide open with the pressure on Jayson Tatum in Boston. That guy's got to be amazing. He really has to be that MVP-like player again.
Yeah, I had Tatum on my long list, kind of like as a two-parter with Jaylen Brown, who I think is also under pressure, kind of getting his way at least to go to the Sixers and let's see what you got away from the Celtics. But I think it's really interesting for Tatum in that this is going to be the first season he's ever played in his career without Jaylen Brown, and this might be the least talented Boston team since Tatum showed up. You think about all the guys that have left in the past 3 seasons: Porzingis, Marcus Smart, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, Luke Cornett, like a lot of guys who helped them win the title have left. Incoming has been rookies, and now an old Paul George as well. So Tatum had a nice run at the end of the season. Last year, when he came back from the Achilles tear, looked a lot better, I think, than people were anticipating, but he should be back to full speed for this season. And I mean, you could throw in the fact that he didn't play Game 7 last year, right? Like there are questions about Jayson Tatum, I think. And, considering he won a title in 24, I don't think maybe he was anticipating answering these kind of questions a couple of years later. It'll be interesting to see what he does, not having his running mate with him for the first time ever.
Yeah, physically, you have to think about the Achilles and playing a full season and then a playoffs as the number 1 and number 2 guy on that team. I mean, you are everything on that squad under Joe Mazzulla. And the way that private equity is dominating their roster. So, yeah, I think that's important for him to be great. The expectation is interesting to me. It's a pretty big range. You can see them being a 55-win team, I think. But that's dependent on Jayson Tatum being great, or you wouldn't be surprised if you see them as a 500 team.
I would be very surprised if they're 500. They won 56 games last year without Jayson Tatum. Now it's basically with Jayson Tatum, without Jaylen Brown, but with Paul George. So I don't think the team, at least for the regular season, is going to be much worse. I expect the Celtics to win 50-plus games this year.
Yeah, for sure. When I factor in them in the 40s, it's definitely whether Tatum is hooping for 82 games. Because look, we haven't seen him in a couple seasons be able to be that guy. But it could have just be...
He's had one unhealthy season. He tore his Achilles, and he's been healthy every other season.
Yeah. I mean, an Achilles is an Achilles. Whether or not he plays the whole season. Yeah, at 24-25 was awesome. He should be back, and he came back early. That's just the range for me, depending on whether Jayson Tatum is playing. But the rest of the guys should be able to perform. And listen, Jaylen Brown, no matter what the analytics say, he was there every single game, every single fourth quarter. And so that's just a lot on Tatum's shoulders, no matter if that Jordan Walsh contract's a good one or not. All right, so moving on. Let's do round number 2, because there's plenty of players that got plenty of pressure in this league.
My number 2 man, number 1, it's Ja Morant. It's time for him to save his career, because if Trae Young's rep is at an all-time low, Ja Morant's is even less than that. He's played 79 games combined in the last 3 seasons and was just salary dumped for a bag of beans. Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray, the only thing going back to Memphis for Ja Morant. You look at the Blazers team, the fit is definitely awkward. The team doesn't make a lot of sense as we sit here on July 24th. They got all these point guards. They got a bunch of big men, and who knows what's happening for the wings outside of Denny Avdia. But I do still think the talent is there for Ja Morant, even if he's not the same kind of player he used to be. Played 20 games last season, terrible number, but still in those 20 games, he had 8 points and assists, double-doubles. He had a 40-point game. He had a 35-point game. What I'm saying is that Ja Morant, I think, can still be an effective player. I'm not holding out hope that suddenly he comes back from a 20-game season and is a 38% three-point shooter. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do hope he's more committed to winning with this Blazers team than he was committed to what it felt like fighting with his front office and his coaches at the end of his Memphis career. So I do think Ja Morant has a lot to prove coming into this season. And who knows? I mean, maybe the fit questions make it tough for Ja Morant to really reach his potential until things are completely settled in Portland with the way that they want to play. But I'm optimistic about this, and I think that he will have a chip on his shoulder, which, hopefully is good for the Blazers, and hopefully doesn't go over the edge for Ja Morant.
Yeah, the biggest question is the dynamic with Dame playing beside him and then Denny Avdia beside him on the other side, because they are just so ball dominant in terms of the way they play and the way Avdia was last season. So, yeah, it's just the whole dynamic to me. As far as the attitude, this is basically playing for his NBA career in some ways. I think it's got to be positive. He met with Mike Nori in his hometown of South Carolina there, and all was apparently good with those two, and he's ready to be a team guy. And if you look at the way he played under Thomas Isolo in Memphis, he definitely was willing to distribute more and not be just a pick and roll type guy. That bothered him to some degree, there's no doubt. But at the same time, when he was on the floor, the offense was good. And so, again, it's a physical thing, but it's also, just an attitude thing. So we'll see if he can take that to Portland. It's a big question, man.
It's a big question.
With 16 point guards on that team,
Yes.
With a Holiday there who should be good off the ball, with Scoot coming off the bench behind them. Yeah, there's just a lot of mouths to feed. Will he be okay doing that? Because he seemed a little testy in Memphis.
Definitely true.
But I don't know. Mike Nori and him met in July. Mike Nori went and talked to him. Portland also has some other issues, a little bit of a cloud hanging over them professionally that we'll get to a little bit later on. So there's a lot of things going on in that locker room.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also a little curious what to expect from Damian Lillard this season. Him and Jayson Tatum got hurt basically the exact same time. Same injury, and we heard immediately, Tatum's coming back for next season. He's looking awesome in Celtics practices. He's dominating. Dame Lillard didn't come back last year, and I don't feel like we've heard those same reports about this guy looking like his old self for the Trailblazers. So I'm interested to see what he has as an older guy coming off a serious injury and an Achilles as well.
Yeah, I'd say the positive way of looking at that is the guy is comfortable playing off the ball as he did with Giannis a lot of the time, and every highlight that you see, it's just him shooting.
True.
It's not him handling. So if he is willing to be that guy, more so with Morant and Avdia, who basically was given the ball to be able to just run over guys, and he did that well.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a whole dynamic that Mike and Nori's got to be able to implement. Can you do it? Yeah. Can Mike and Nori do it? That's a fair question with the rookie head coach. But yeah, a lot going on in that locker room. Just a ton, which we'll get to a little bit more in Worst of the Week. My second round pick, I'm going with Joel Embiid.
Okay.
This is his best shot at a title. Might be his last shot if you look at it that way in terms of his health. But because of what they're doing at the center spot, there's just so much pressure for him to be on the floor a good amount, especially in the playoffs. His backup is Huck Porty. You got a Dembona there, and you've got Dominic Barlow moving over behind him. So there's a pressure positionally, but also just in terms of the whole roster. It's awesome up top with Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, and VJ Edgecombe. That looks fantastic. But there's a drop-off after that. I mean, who is their fifth best player, along with Embiid in the starting lineup? It's Dean Wade, I suppose.
Probably the starter, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be starting at the wing, I imagine. And then the guys coming off the bench. Listen, Anthony Simons has the ability to go shoot 1,000 times, but it's Simons. And then it's LeBaron Filon as a rookie. So it starts to get thin pretty quickly with this team that's paying their top guys a lot. It's the opposite of what the Boston Celtics are doing. So pressure on Joel Embiid. I say it's the best shot at a title. Maybe you can look back at 2019 and say if they were able to overcome the Raptors in the second round instead of Kawhi's 4-bouncer and they go play the Milwaukee Bucks in the conference final and then a banged-up Warriors team, maybe that was his best shot at a title. But right here, right now, this is it. This season, it looks like, especially because I'm just assuming that Embiid's not going to get healthier as the years go on. So this is it. It just feels like, health-wise, Embiid in the 27 playoffs is going to be what we look back as the first era of this Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey duo, along with him, and might be the last one because even last year he couldn't play in every game in the playoffs, but he did get kind of healthy to play somewhat.
He got healthy to dominate the Celtics for 3 games.
Yeah.
That was all he had.
Yeah.
But he did dominate the Celtics for 3 games. He's still got the skills. And the interesting thing with choosing him as a player under pressure is I think it's kind of it's a little sideways because to me, the Sixers did a good job of kind of Embiid-proofing their lineup. Now, when you mention Huck Porty and Barlow and Bona are the backups, it doesn't quite sound like that. But I think the team can still be a winning team during the regular season, a competitive team during the regular season because Jaylen Brown plays a ton of games. Tyrese Maxey plays a ton of games. Edgecombe seems like the kind of guy who's going to play a ton. Like, we're talking 66 games plus for Brown. The thing changes, though, once they get to the playoffs, because that's when Embiid becomes the ceiling raiser for this team. If he's healthy, if he is in a rhythm, he's still a really tough player to stop. So maybe bringing in Jaylen Brown to save Embiid from having to play a ton during the regular season means he's fresher come playoff time, because they absolutely need him if they're going to get close to a title. The best time to be a Sixers fan is when they're not playing, though, when you're like, oh yeah, Joel Embiid, this might be the year. And it might be the year. Who knows? At least they've got guys that can take the regular season minutes load that he would be having to deal with if they're trying to make it into the playoffs and hopefully be as healthy as possible come playoff time. I like what the Sixers did, and I'm excited to see him play. Yeah,
they tried to prime those knees for last year's playoffs by only playing 38 games last season. They're going to do the same thing. But they do it every year. It was 19 the season before that and 39 the season before that. So the last 3 seasons, yeah, that's the range. He's going to play less than half the games. Whatever their training staff determines is the perfect prime knee Embiid situation. So yeah, this is just is this an odd scenario in that their front office said, we're going for it with Jaylen Brown. I mean, that's not odd in and of itself, but with Embiid, who is 32 and has years left on his contract, we may not see a healthy Embiid for an entire postseason ever again.
Yes,
simple as that. Because as you said, he was primed and ready to go for those 4, 5, 6 games against the Boston Celtics. 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess, and then. yeah, against the Knicks, didn't look as awesome.
No.
So that was a quick turn, man.
It was a quick turn.
He looks so good. Insert him. He's awesome. But really, that's 2 months. If you're asking them to win the title with that guy as your starting center, it's something, number one, he's never done. He's never gone further than that second round. And now it's a lot of pressure on a guy for 2 months of playoff basketball. So, yeah, he's ready for the playoffs because of what they did. But you get into Huckporty and Abona, who are going to have to play a lot of games now.
That's true.
Without Andre Drummond, who definitely is one of those guys who seems to be a guy who can play more in his 30s. Like, that guy is playing a ton that the Knicks were able to steal. So that's a fun one. It is a fun one to see what they bring in October, but also in April, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I feel like very little pressure for Embiid until April, and then a ton of pressure on Embiid. We need to see you play.
All right, round number 3 of our draft.
I'm going with the Laker here in round number 3. Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler?
Luka said, get me an A-list center. And the Lakers treated Walker Kessler like he was an A-list center, gave him a 4-year, $130 million contract, traded 4 first-rounders to the Utah Jazz for him. Now all Walker Kessler has to do is be an A-list center, and guess what? He has 1 season as a full-time starter. He started all 58 games he played in the 24-25 season, but he's coming off a 5-game season last year after dealing with surgery from a torn labrum. I think offense is going to be very easy for Walker Kessler. Set a screen, run to the rim, shoot 70%. He shot 70% in 5 games with the Jazz last year. Now he's Luka Doncic's pick and roll partner. He will shoot 70% easily this coming season. It's the other side that they need a ton from Walker Kessler, because he is going to have a lot of responsibility for the Lakers defense. Last year, they were 19th in defensive rating on the season, and I think they're probably worse on the perimeter defensively, having lost Marcus Smart. Their best perimeter defender right now, Vanderbilt on the bench, Thibault on the bench. Quentin Grimes, I think, is like an average defender, and he's probably their best perimeter guy who's going to be starting, and he's undersized. He might not even start. It might be LaRavia. We shall see. But you look at what Ayton did last year. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 1 block per game. Kessler can do that. But they need a lot more from Walker Kessler than 12, 8, and 1. I would like to see him be like a 16, 12, 2 guy at the very least. And I don't know. Jazz fans were confident in this guy. Lakers fans were stoked to be able to get a Walker Kessler. He's definitely talented. He definitely fits the prototype of what you would want as a Luka Doncic center. But to call this guy an A-lister when he hasn't even been an A-lister on his own team, I think is kind of ridiculous. So a little pressure for me on Walker Kessler to show that he is worth being traded for 4 first-round picks and being given this gigantic contract.
Walker Kessler over Luka Doncic, who...
Well, I'm sorry. Luka's going to average 35 a game. Everybody knows it.
He will. He has pressure in that LeBron's ain't there anymore. He just has to play a lot. Now, he has played a lot throughout his career. He really has been. But it's hey, no, LeBron, you got to carry it, buddy. Especially because this is a top-heavy team in that they're paying a lot of guys. But Luka just has to be that guy, again, for... I would say even more than what he usually plays. Like, he averages 64 games played throughout his career, but now with the number 2 guy in Austin Reeves and Walker Kessler, he just has to play a ton, and the offense is going to go through him. Walker Kessler definitely has pressure because he's their lone really good big man. The trade of DeAndre Ayton, it's a surprising one. Financial, I suppose, also maybe because DeAndre Ayton knew he wasn't going to be the starter anymore. Maybe that factored into it, but because as you went through the roster there, they don't got much help. So Walker Kessler has a ton of pressure.
Not defensively, at least.
Yeah. And size-wise. I mean, simple as that. Who is going to start beside Walker Kessler in their front court? It could be Mamu. Man.
He can shoot it at least.
He can shoot it. But he is an undersized guy. Anyways, just pressure on him. I was surprised to hear you say he shot 70% in those 5 games, because I know that's what he does throughout his career, but he was also letting it rip from 3 this past season as much as he possibly could. He was hitting them.
He went 6 for 8. 75% from 3 last year,
Yes.
6 for 8.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
I
But
think they call that a small sample size, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, it is a small sample size. But he was shooting above the break threes too. those 8 threes, it is small, and that's a fair criticism about Walker Kessler, as you brought up. The Utah Jazz fans said, okay, you might get a good 20, 30, 40 games, but can he do it for an entire season and be really, really awesome? So we shall see.
Yeah.
All right. My third round pick, I'm sticking with the top guys here. I think Nikola Jokic has some pressure.
Hey.
It's a very interesting season that he came off of, where we all were looking at the MVP ballot throughout the entire season. We see Shea and him 1-2, 1-2, and we or the entire media would say, hey, Nikola Jokic, probably the best player in the league. Then he got embarrassed in the first round. Embarrassed in relation to that term of being the best player in the league. That was by far his worst playoff series of his entire career. He did not look like himself. The numbers are very, very bad overall. Although his free throws were nice, really, really nice free throws in that series, but he couldn't shoot the 3. He couldn't shoot 3. He couldn't shoot the 2. He couldn't shoot from anywhere. Was it Rudy Gobert? Was it knowing that his team wasn't good enough to get to an NBA Finals anymore? Was it him coming off his first injury of his career? That was a long period of time. But it looked like he was back because they won their last 12 games of the regular season, and then he just did not fare well against the Minnesota Timberwolves in that first round series. Didn't look like himself. So Jokic, I think, has some pressure here to bring it back, because they're running back at this time, basically the same team. So, I say maybe he didn't feel like we were going to win, and maybe that's why he just wasn't himself, or he wasn't the best version of himself. But they're bringing back Jamal Murray. They're bringing back another older year of Aaron Gordon, which is definitely worrisome for them. It looks like it's Cam Johnson. Looks like it's Christian Brown. And will Peyton Watson come back? I don't know. But it's the same team.
Yeah, it is the same team.
It looks like. So, yeah, there's pressure on this guy who, again, for 6 months, people say, well, that's the guy. That's the guy. Then he got injured, and then he wasn't part of the MVP conversation anymore. But you could still look at him and think that he's the best player in the world. But that was a disappointing first-round matchup, even if, from my perspective, I wasn't giving Rudy Gobert all the credit that people wanted to give Rudy Gobert the credit. And I said it was on Jokic more so than not being himself. And I said, oh, maybe he just doesn't feel right or whatever. Doesn't matter. He didn't perform. Simple as that.
Time for a bounce back season, which is weird because outside of missing time, I feel like Jokic did have a really good regular season. Like you're saying, a hot streak at the end for the Nuggets. He ended up leading the league in assists, ended up leading the league in rebounding, shot a high percentage like he always does, and then worst playoff series that he's had, at the very least, since becoming the Jokic that we know. I think something similar happened with Jamal Murray last year. Like, he made his first All-Star team. He played his best regular season and then wasn't great in the playoffs as well. So the problem for the Nuggets, I think, is that they're slowly losing their depth, which is why they're going to have to bring back Peyton Watson, but we don't know what's going. I think Valanciunas is going to be done. They brought in Marvin Bagley instead. They drafted Sharp last year. He didn't play. Maybe he'll get a chance this year. They're going to need a lot from Jokic, and maybe he wore down as the season went on, but I don't know. I just assume he's going to produce. He'll probably average close to a triple-double once again. He will be in MVP conversations once again as long as he gets to that 65 games. He did finish second in MVP voting last year. Like maybe he wasn't a realistic chance to win, but he still did finish second. He still had an awesome year. And, accolades-wise, I think it's better for Jokic the worse the Nuggets get because he has to do so much more. It's like the year Jamal Murray missed. He won MVP pretty easily on a 6th seed because they're like, look at everything he's got to do. Yeah. So this would be this is an interesting guy to me for an MVP vet, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he could be that one guy that when the pressure is on is when he performs best. He has performed the most. It was surprising me to see what he did in that playoff series. Look at these numbers that a guy called the best player in the world had against the Minnesota Timberwolves. By far the worst of his career in the playoffs for a playoff series. He shot 44.6% from the field. This is a big man. And 19.4% from three. That just didn't seem right, didn't fit right. So when I see that, I just thought, okay, Rudy is good, sure. But it's more whatever's going on with Jokic. And maybe he couldn't bounce back after that injury for a series. But he looked so good in that 12-game run throughout the season. So, weird stuff. Anybody else you want to talk about?
I'll throw you my quick pressure boys. LaMelo Ball, I think, is under pressure. Has to play like serious basketball for maybe the first time in his career after having the best season of his career and then getting shipped out. There's some pressure on him. I think Chet Holmgren and De'Aaron Fox are kind of we need to make up for our playoff failures pressure guys.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Cade Cunningham, Giannis Antetokounmpo, to me, are guys who have a lot of pressure to perform for their team and most importantly, to be on the court for their team. Like when I look at what the Pistons did, they seem to have lost ball handling with Tobias Harris going out, more responsibility for Cade. And then when you look at Giannis and the Heat, I'm like, I do think the Heat will be better than the Bucks were last year, but they're in a similar spot where if Giannis misses 30 games, it wouldn't be surprising if the Heat end up in the play-in tournament, right? Like they got Bam, they got Wiggins. Davion Mitchell's a good starter, but like this is not a super deep team, I don't think. So some pressure on Giannis to play a lot, which has been a problem for him the past couple of seasons. I got a joint pressure, boys. Paolo and Franz feels like one last chance for these guys. I think Alperen Şengün has kind of slid into the Paolo Banchero spot for me where I'm like, I like your game. I don't know if it's going to allow your team to win at the ultimate level. And then the final guys I got, Ivica Zubac, biggest change for the Pacers. Not really sure what to expect from them as a team. And he needs to play pretty well since he costs so much for them. And then Aaron Gordon for me is a guy who's very important to stay healthy for the Nuggets because we've seen when he goes down with an injury, they look like they're 1,000 years old instantly.
Yeah, it's a fun list. The Chet Holmgren one, super fun going into this regular season. We'll see what he's been able to morph his game into. The Giannis one is really, really interesting because I think he knows that he has to play a ton. And there may be a reason why in these training videos with Tristan Jass on YouTube, he's shooting threes over and over. And this isn't just one practice. T-Jass went in for 3 practices with him, and Giannis is shooting a lot of threes, and I think there's a reason behind that he needs to, number one, I think they need to spread the floor a little bit more in Miami, but 2, that's the recipe to keep him as healthy as possible. Yeah. So I think there's some reason why he's working out with Drew Hanlon on his 3-point shot. So there's that. Yeah, I throw Kevin Durant in there with Fred VanVleet back. No excuses now for the Houston Rockets. And so we'll see if that is able to trickle down to Alperen Şengün, as you brought up, because they gotta be good. Yeah, you broke down, got to everybody on my list. It's a fun list.
That was a disappointing loss in the playoffs for the Rockets with no Luka, no Reeves for the majority of that series, and they got kind of ran off the court by a Lakers team that I think all 3 of us picked the Lakers to win that series. Yeah. And I know, look, Durant missed time in that one kind of unexpectedly as well. That might have changed our picks, but still, it felt like the Rockets were the better team heading into that series, and they looked pretty bad.
Yeah, and as you said about the Philadelphia 76ers taking some of the workload off Joel Embiid, maybe Fred VanVleet does that for Kevin Durant to some degree. Mm-hmm. That Kevin Durant can get ready for the playoffs because he wasn't 100% in the playoffs. He missed time in that Lakers series. So, yeah, that's going to be again, no excuses for Kevin Durant. This is it. This is a solid team. It'll be a fun season for the Houston Rockets, especially with Fred taking some of that pressure off him. All right, let's get to worst of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst of the week.
Blazers play-by-play man Kevin Calabro ain't coming back. So sad for Portland Trail Blazers fans. As Kevin Calabro put it, it was a subprime offer that he was given. It's a good dig at Tom Dundon, who made his money off subprime auto loans. So, Calabro had that planned. This guy, unfortunately, for Blazers fans, that's their voice that they turn to when they want to watch a Blazers game. This is a man of value, and it's so disappointing for them. That voice, that matters to Blazers fans. And apparently Calabro's agent tried to renegotiate earlier before his contract ended, in the last couple months, but there was nothing there, and there was no benefits attached, as Calabro has said, as he came out and talked about it after the contract didn't happen. But we brought it up this week, Trae, about the whole Dundon feeling, the whole thing around Tom Dundon. And then this comes out where it's directly affecting Blazers fans. And this is a clear, low blow to Blazers fans.
Yeah, the broadcast team is like one of the most direct connections from a team to a fan. Kevin Calabro and Lamar Hurd were one of the best duos in the entire basketball league, the NBA, if you will. Apparently, Lamar Hurd does have 1 year left on his deal, so he will be back for the Blazers. That's good. I guess a silver lining for Kevin Calabro is that Seattle is on their way back to the NBA, which makes me think that would be a perfect landing spot for Kevin Calabro. He was the Sonics broadcaster for 22 years before doing some ESPN stuff, and then almost a decade with the Blazers, with a couple of years taken out during the COVID times. But this just really sucks. Not just losing Kevin Calabro, like that would suck enough on its own if they lowballed him and he didn't want to take an offer, which is what he said. He says there was not much seriousness on the other end to get a deal done, but this should be an exciting time for Portland Trail Blazers fans. They made the playoffs for the first time since 2021. They're adding Ja Morant. Damian Lillard is coming back, like at worst the second best player in your franchise's history. It's the 50-year anniversary of the only title they've ever won. And instead, it has been piece of news after piece of news of piece of news after piece of news.
Yeah.
Of things that make it worse to be a Blazers fan.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah. Especially with the way Tom Dundon came on in March, and then in April, we had all these stories about the way they went into the playoffs. Okay, two-way players aren't traveling with the team. Blazers fans don't get T-shirts in the arena. The massage therapist for the Blazers has to check out of their hotel room so they can't perform their massages and their therapy in their room. So they gotta go find another room. So there's all those events, which you can, to me, all I think of is Elon Musk taking over Doge in the U.S. government, and the image of him with the chainsaw coming in and just slashing things that he didn't like. And then you get this scenario here with Kevin Calabro, as you said, somebody that is connected to the fans. So you'd think an owner would say, okay, I made some flubs there early on in my ownership in the first couple months, that this one here it goes beyond business. It goes beyond money. It goes beyond what obviously Tom Dundon wants to do. This is something emotional. There's something that's tied to fans. So you'd think maybe like when he stopped paying two-way players to go on their travel to go to San Antonio, he did reverse that and sent them to game 5. They didn't go to game 1 and game 2, but they were sent to game 5. Okay, maybe he's learned something, but that's obviously not the case. Calabro out. It goes on beyond that. Travis Demers, the team's radio play-by-play announcer, was not retained. His radio partner, Michael Holton, was let go after 19 seasons with the team. 2 studio hosts, Neil Everett, host Jamie Hudson, they're gone. That is a lot of axing. And our Tom Habistro. So
assistant GM just left as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of axing.
So yeah, I'm gonna start calling Tom Dundon Stone Cold, because all he cares about is the bottom line.
It is the bottom line.
That's all he cares about. He does not care about the Blazers. He cares that they're a valuable franchise. He does not care about the city of Portland, which is pretty clear. The only thing I think is interesting is Blazers fans are now trying to organize boycotts of Panda Express because apparently the founders and owners of Panda Express are ownership partners with Tom Dutton. So they're making it feel it where it hurts in the fast food Chinese money pockets, I suppose.
Well, that's a weird one.
Like, fine, we're taking it out on the pandas.
Yeah. There's nothing beyond the bottom line. I mean, in May, he fired 70 employees, according to multiple reports. So I'm not going to pretend to know everything that goes on in the books. Those 70 employees, maybe some should be fired. Fired. I shouldn't say fired, but they should be looked at in the spreadsheet and they determine, okay, maybe we should move money here, move money there. But in the end, it all comes down to money. And yeah, that's unfortunate, obviously, as we see NBA owners move in a different direction rather than a lot of the mom and pop type of ownerships. We're seeing a lot more involved with
definitely true.
The dollar bills and only the dollar bills because it's getting extensive. And I say the employees part is different, you know, if they're in the PR department or wherever they're involved in. It's different than when you actually see it with the actual hosts that are the first ones that fans see when the broadcast starts. Like, that is real stuff. And so that's why it's puzzling here, even as we talked about it on Wednesday. I mean, it's taken another level since then when we talked about whether or not they're going to agree with the city on how they are able to build or renovate, I should say, the Moda Center. This is beyond that. This is aggravating.
Definitely.
It's surprising. It is surprising. I guess it's not surprising, but it is surprising at the same time.
Yep.
Moving on.
Sucks for the Blazers.
Second nominee here. LeBron James was reportedly irritated by Adam Silver. Silver did shoot at the king when he told CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin, quote, "I would like LeBron to make his announcement already so we can finish the schedule." And that's when a radio host, Andy Baskin, said, quote, "Here's what I was told yesterday by a reliable source. Last week, LeBron's crew was probably ready to make an announcement. Irritated was the word I was told by the commissioner pushing them. So they decided to hold back," end quote. What do you make of this report from the 92.3 The Fans host, Andy Baskin in Cleveland?
I'm just basking in it. I don't know. It seems a little far-fetched to me that LeBron will be like, I got my decision, I'm ready to go. And then Adam Silver comes out and says something pretty anodyne. All things considered, he's like, yeah, we're waiting for LeBron to make our schedule because he's going to play. If he doesn't play opening night, he'll play on the Wednesday night. And he's definitely going to play on Christmas. Like, it doesn't matter. I went through every team that I thought could play on Christmas. The Cavs are definitely the most questionable. They made the conference finals last year. Like, they could easily just get a Christmas game. They're going to be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. And all the other teams are already included on probably getting Christmas games. But this is the longest LeBron has taken for a decision. I went on ESPN.com today. They got like their little sidebar of headlines on the side. Nothing new since Wednesday. We don't have a new piece of NBA news since Wednesday. That's unbelievable. And it's all because of LeBron. It's getting dark out here, Tass. I had to watch Shams Charania talk to Pat McAfee, and I actually laughed at something Pat McAfee said because Shams is explaining to him how Mario Hezonja is waiting to make his decision based on which team signs LeBron James. And Pat McAfee goes, "He's holding up Hezonja?" So now I'll be thinking of that every time I see Mario Hezonja, who apparently is coming back, but not until LeBron James signs something. So we got a lot of things to do. LeBron needs to pick a team, we need to set the schedule, and we need to see where Mario Hezonja is playing.
Yeah, you brought him up on Wednesday because he's rumored to be coming back as a 31-year-old to the NBA. And he was part of the headlines, as you said. And I thought, is it because he blocked LeBron James in the paint one time? Because that's a headline, or that's a video that's going around because it is dead time. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. Mario Hezonja guard LeBron going into the lane in Madison Square Garden. Hezonja was with the Knicks and stopping LeBron on a late game winning attempt.
Yeah.
It's Hezonja time. Maybe. He seems like a good NBA player. Good enough anyway.
I think he's been very good overseas, is what it appears.
Oh, yeah. He's great in Spain.
Yep.
So Pat McAfee making jokes that are worth a laugh.
He's holding up Hezonja.
Yeah.
You could tell he was like, this LeBron thing is taking so long. I got to hear Shams talk to me about a guy named Mario Hezonja. I feel the same way. Pick a team, bro.
You said all the teams essentially that LeBron would pick would play on Christmas Day.
Okay, sure. I'll run it down for you. Here's who I think are locks: Spurs, Thunder, Lakers, Knicks, Celtics, Sixers, Warriors. That's 7 teams of the 10 we need.
Yeah.
And that includes the Sixers and the Warriors, who are, it feels like, on the outskirts of the conversation.
Okay.
For LeBron right now. And then in my next group of 7 teams, which you would need 3 of these to complete the schedule, I got Nuggets, Timberwolves, Pistons, Cavs, Heat, Pacers, and Rockets.
Yeah, the Heat one is
They did get you. I mean, they got Giannis.
So
Here,
yeah,
that's a big deal.
Yeah. Would they be a Christmas Day team without LeBron? It seems unlikely.
I think that one's pretty unlikely.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about Mario Hezonja with, or
I haven't done the deep dive of checking into his overseas highlights. I can't take it that far. But I did read his Wikipedia page to get refreshed on what happened with this guy.
Yeah, the last part of his career. I mean, it just wasn't.
He ended up playing on a few teams.
Yeah, he just wasn't awesome. That number
It's just
5,
too early.
That number 5 draft pick with Orlando. Yeah, the rep wasn't. I don't know. He didn't match that draft pick, I suppose. You know.
He didn't live up to number 5.
Nah. Yeah. We had other suggestions for worst of the week. We had Anthony Davis saying that he was going to play 82 games from a man.
Unlikely.
From a man Bippo. But as we talked about on Wednesday, this is just Anthony Davis saying, I want an extension in 2 weeks on August 6th when I'm eligible, and I'm just talking it up. Although it's disappointing. I get it. We talked about it Wednesday. There's no way he plays 82 games. There's no chance. No chance. 0. I checked if there's a FanDuel line on how many games Anthony Davis is going to play. They're not even doing that right now.
Off the board.
Off the board. Another suggestion for worst of the week was Kawhi's drama being dragged out. Well, according to Mike Vorkunov of The Athletic, he said the league's investigation of Kawhi Leonard and aspiration has ended, and the league is sorting through it. He believes the trade with the Raptors will still happen. So just mentioning that, as Mike said on Thursday on the Rich Eisen show. So
I await the conclusion.
yeah, we all do.
The findings can't wait to read the brief.
Speaking of conclusions, let's get to rapid fire fun.
Beautiful segue.
Yeah, you set it up, man. Just like you're setting up these questions.
Yeah, I am. Stephen Curry will become the first active player to have an exhibit at the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame after they opened their Beyond the Arc exhibit this weekend. They'll have memorabilia and stuff from Steph's illustrious career. Guys, who is someone that should be honored for what they're currently still doing?
This is a cheap way of going about it, but I'm going to say Christopher Nolan deserves some credit for Odyssey. What a film. I watched it last
he's
night.
lacking a lot of credit.
Yeah. Well, listen, on my algorithm, JD, he's getting ripped.
Oh.
Everybody wants a Greek as an actor. Name me the Greek who could have performed. Being the positive Pete myself, you think I would have a lot of names, but I'm sorry, John Stamos ain't performing.
You don't want to see him as Odysseus?
No, I don't want to see Jennifer Aniston in Anne Hathaway's role. Something apparently Danielle told me is that Chris Nolan will never cast somebody who's got Botox in their face because he wants them to be able to emote. Jennifer Aniston, she's got Botox from what I can see. And so she can't play the role. Anne Hathaway, I think, played it well because she was emoting.
You're seeing all those. She's looking her age on that IMAX, I have to say.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing.
Right.
I'm with Nolan on this.
So,
but would it have killed him to put a Galifianakis in there? Anything. One Greek.
Just throw him out there.
Put all the famous Greek actors on the boat.
Yeah, there's not many.
There's not many.
Jason Mantzoukas.
Mantzoukas, yeah.
Stavros.
Chiklis, Michael Chiklis.
Michael Chiklis, yeah, sure. Every Greek that's famous in Hollywood's sitting on the boat.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not bad.
Why not?
So my algorithm is just all torn up. What am I gonna do? I don't see a Greek on there. It was a great movie, and as you said on Thumbwart, JD, I mean, it was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was a great movie.
A massive movie.
Okay, that's my cheap way of doing it.
I'm a movie man as well. Tom Cruise needs an Oscar. He's been nominated for Best Actor twice, Born on the 4th of July, and Jerry Maguire. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Magnolia. He got nominated as a producer for Best Picture for Top Gun Maverick. And he did get the 2025 Academy Honor Award, which is kind of literally like saying, hey, man, thanks for all you've done. You haven't won a real one yet, but we love all the movies you make. And I saw the first trailer for Digger we were talking about, JD. It was literally just a sizzle reel of every great Tom Cruise role.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this guy's made a lot of great movies.
He has.
So hopefully he can get a real Oscar here instead of the just bone throw one they gave him. I'm sure that's what Digger is supposed to be, an Oscar play for him.
Like it,
I don't know if it will succeed in winning him one, but I'd like to see him. It'd be crazy to see Tom Cruise give a speech
Oh, God.
to these people.
Does he thank Scientology? Or who's the guy? The
Xenu?
top guy?
L. Ron Hubbard?
Yeah, L.
David
Ron.
Miscavige?
What's the FanDuel odds that L. Ron gets a shout out in Tom Cruise's acceptance speech?
That's a Kalshi for sure.
That's a Kalshi.
It's a Kalshi, 100%.
No doubt.
What you got, JD?
Mine is Matthew Kaminsky. Who, you may ask? This is the organist at Truist Park. I mentioned this guy before on No Bunts. He is awesome with the opposing players' walkout music.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's
we did
cool.
a full quiz on this on No Bunts back in the day. Just name that tune, basically. But like Casper Wells will come out, and on the organ, he's playing Ghostbusters. His name's Casper, right? Blaze Alexander, We Didn't Start the Fire. Like that kind of thing. Like he just picks not random, but deep cuts sometimes. And each time a guy comes up, it's a different song. So he just digs deep into his catalog, and those songs sound hilarious on the organ, you know?
Yeah.
And it makes it a game too, right? Where you're like, wait, what is this song?
Oh, totally.
Why did he pick that one?
It's no joke my favorite thing to do at a baseball game, at a Braves game, is just name that tune and just like, and then you go, wow, this guy's a genius, man. Ketel Marte, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Ketel
Yeah.
Marte. I'm a little teapot.
Wow.
K-E-T. Yeah, okay.
That's tough.
That's pretty good,
fucking
man.
man.
That's a fun. Yeah, it's a fun
There's a lot of
conversation
fire
starter.
songs out there, but not a lot of tea kettle songs, I
Exactly.
guess.
Yeah, I can't think of another one, but you're totally right. It's an underappreciated position.
Oh God.
The organist at a
So
baseball
good.
game. Yeah.
I mean, I think he gives what's the guy's name at
Sir Foster.
Sir Foster. I think he gives him a run for his money a little bit.
Yeah, Sir Foster doesn't do it anymore, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
We're still the organist capital of North America. Here in Atlanta. A teenager recently found a Wilt Chamberlain Lakers warm-up jacket at a Goodwill in Oregon. Paid $3 for the jacket, then sold it at auction for $89,600.
Oh,
Pretty good find. Guys, what's your best cheap purchase?
a Swiss Army knife. Recently
For Yellowstone.
for Yellowstone. Yeah,
Nice.
it came in so handy. Kids had long fingernails, and we needed a little scissors. I pulled out the Swiss Army knife. Were they sharp enough to cut fingernails well? No. But at the same time, it came in handy. I had to cut tags. I had to cut boxes.
Wow.
It just comes in super handy. Super duper.
How many tools, implements, whatever they're
right.
called? Yeah.
I think we get into the double digits.
Ooh, you got one of the thickies.
You gotta get a thickie.
Nice.
But it was cheap. You know, sometimes I regret. Maybe I should have paid a lot more for one that had fewer tools on it. I don't know. It's things I think about at night. And
Did
what
it
am I
come
gonna
with a
do?
toothpick? I always thought that was
Yeah.
the funniest thing to include.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Like, it's metal.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would not want to put
I
it in
don't
your
want to
mouth,
put that
but
in
you
my
could.
teeth. Yeah, if you need
could
it.
pick it.
So it came in handy.
Nice.
Anytime. Do I have it on me now? No. But it's like I want to have it on me at all times.
Yeah, you gotta become a grandpa. Yeah, as soon as you become a grandpa, you can just start carrying a pocket knife.
That's right.
And it's awesome for that little tiny pocket you have in pants. But here in Georgia, we wear shorts for 4 months of the year. You gotta have you got a pouch of some sort, or a fanny pack or something. And I did buy one of those too, but I pulled off a move like you, Trae. I know you got one. Mine was too big though. Got to return it. Come on, dicks. You don't offer a smaller bag. I want a tiny one to hold, a Swiss Army knife, keys, wallet. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, the big one could fit a water bottle. I'm like, it's kind of stupid. I don't need a water
big.
bottle. Yeah.
That watch will get or knife will get lost in there. JD, what's your best cheap purchase?
AMCA list, not an ad. We see like 8 movies a month. It's $30. Any format.
Yep.
It changes how you go to the movies because it's just like, you just book your seat. We'll double book sometimes. Like, do we go Thursday or Friday? I'll book them both, and then we just cancel one of them.
Yeah, you can return the ticket, right?
Yeah, you just cancel it.
Cool.
You can cancel it 20 minutes before the movie. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like the prices have even increased, and I'm still like, it's still worth it.
It's definitely if you see
you go
two
twice,
movies,
yeah.
it pays for itself. It's great.
So if another seat is booked, you can't take that seat, right? Like if somebody has paid for a particular seat.
Yeah, but it's just like buying a ticket, like weeks in advance. You just reserve your seat.
Yeah, just because I was seeing Odyssey's every seat for Odyssey is taken for the next multiple weeks.
Yes,
they're doing showtimes at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. but they're all taken too.
It'd probably be fun.
It would be fun.
Totally.
It's awesome.
Until it's 6 a.m. and you're walking out of the theater. Maybe not as fun then.
Sun rising.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For me, best cheap purchase was I probably bought like 80% of my record collection before vinyl records got really expensive. There was just like a good year. I got my turntable junior year of college, so probably like 2004 or something like that. And I would go and spend a ton of time at Kiss the Sky Records in Batavia, Illinois, just flipping through all of the used records. And like I was able to buy Beatles records for $3 to $7 back then. Talking Heads record, like I got every Talking Heads record for under $10 easily, and now they're all really expensive.
Yeah,
now
back, man.
even a used record is going to cost you $15 minimum.
Yeah.
So I was happy to get a bunch of them because
I would dare to say, as an audiophile, sort of, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to spend $20 on a vinyl at this point.
Well, I mean, my speakers are probably 4 inches diagonally. I don't think I've changed my needle since I got it 20 years ago, so the audio quality it probably could be better.
Yeah,
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
but I also I like having my favorite records on vinyl, and I play them less through streaming. But I'm like, okay, sure, I'll turn on.
Yeah.
Stop Making Sense or whatever.
Yeah, you're more likely to play it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to have these ones. I want to make sure my kids have to carry these around for the rest of their lives.
Well, like my kid wants to get into vinyl, and I'm like, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Like you don't have the setup for it. It's just so much upkeep, and it's just not. The price of it is just crazy. It's not worth it at this point. You missed it. You missed the boat, son.
New one will come along soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully so. Report surfaced this week, like we talked earlier. LeBron irritated with Adam Silver because Silver said, hurry up and pick a team. But you don't rush the king. Fellas, what's one thing you never want to rush?
I wasn't picking a team. I was picking my hairs. I was picking my hairs from the top of my ear. I was plucking my ear hairs.
Yeah.
And Danielle comes into the room and says, you got to moisturize that ear. And I said, excuse me, I'm busy here. Do not rush this because I'm going to make my ear bleed if I try and rush it. I've done that many times. Where I just grab the skin of my ear because I'm missing or doing it too fast. So she was trying to rush me. And I've never noticed my ears dry until that moment. Like, I guess they're dry. That's one of those things. Like, okay, ankles, knees, elbows, they might be dry, but I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that your ear
never
your ear cartilage is causing some dryness or whatever's happening
No,
out there.
that's
You're saying top of ear?
Yeah, top of ear.
Definitely not.
I guess that's where she said it. I mean, I don't know.
Moisturize your ears.
Moisturize your ears,
So specific.
husband.
Wow.
Weird. That's a weird one, man.
JD, what's one thing you never want to rush?
I mean, not to be gross, but poops. I never push. So I'm in there for a while. I just, yeah, exactly. I don't want like a blown blood vessel in my eye or hemorrhoids or that, Just let it come out.
You don't want any of that. I agree.
Just let the natural contractions do its thing and evacuate your bowels.
Can't
Take your
disagree.
time.
Yeah, your body's meant to do it.
Exactly. Grab a book.
Gravity?
Enjoy yourself. Gravity works.
on your side.
Maybe a little stool. Pardon the pun. To put your feet up on.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
I thought about that today, actually. Stool part. Bringing a stool in because I was getting prepared for the show. I'm like, okay, this is number 2 of my number 2s from this morning, and I got to get to work here, but I also don't want to rush it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about getting the stool in there.
Sure.
Didn't do that, though. Didn't go back to our no season required tour where I did that. I pulled a stool into the bathroom gross. Done with that. 15 years ago.
I left that one in the past. Squatty potty. Why didn't they call it the stool,
I know. It's a blown opportunity there.
Yeah.
Totally a missed opportunity. I'm personally never rushing a Buc-ee's visit, or I never want to rush a Buc-ee's visit, which is a conundrum because every time we're there, it's a rush.
Well, you're driving, right? You want to get back on the road.
I'm never just going.
Yeah.
I'm never just going. And it's always, I do the gas outside. Laura and the girls go inside, go to the bathroom. So they got a little bit of a head start on me. Then I'm trying to play catch up. I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then I got to look at every single item in the store. And I never get to look at the clothing items. Like, why do they have that stuff? Like I would love to see what all kind of stuff they have over there.
I mean, you've never gone through and just quick little browse?
Not enough. I mean, yeah, definitely like a quick little browse, or like you definitely see all the Buc-ee's branded stuff when you're walking through the main thing, and like a 4th of July shirt or a Halloween shirt, that kind of thing. But they got so much stuff in there. There's got to be some weird things.
Oh, 100%.
They probably sell a knife, right? You'd have to think.
Yeah, they got it all.
They got it all.
You're right. You want to rush,
But you're
quite often you're on a holiday weekend, and there's a lot of people there, so it's crowded because Buc-ee's that good.
It's always a rush, but you never want it to be.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Those are 3 questions, 3 answers, 9 total.
Thank you for good math. Thank you for the questions. A fun one. What's also fun is seeing people on Substack comment on stuff after they jump on over to vote in our poll. Which movie franchise should No Dunks cover this summer? As we've discussed, that's what we're going to be doing. Pirates of the Caribbean has won. The poll is over. Thank you for the 1,138 votes. Pirates of the Caribbean was behind Indiana Jones, but the boat got in front. Indiana Jones was second. Transformers and Superman third and fourth. Thanks for the love over on Substack, including this comment, which I appreciated because I do want to mention, if you want your podcast ad-free, you go join Substack on our page, as Isaac, a.k.a. Roy, did, and he said, quote, "I have been a fan of you guys forever. 15 years, question mark? I love your humor, insights, and perspectives. Cliche, but listening to the pod just feels like hanging out with my buds, talking about hoops and life. Thanks for all the amazing years of content." And thank you, Roy. Appreciate it for you joining our Substack page. We'll be back Monday, I think.
We'll be back Monday. Will we have a LeBron decision to talk about?
Now, we're talking odds. This is going to happen, apparently, according to the odds.
According to the odds.
Which is, I guess that's how odds work. I mean, you can bet. Yeah, because I think I saw it on Wednesday, and the odds were the highest today, which is the Friday. Yesterday had some odds, the Thursday. But that's how it should work, I guess. For odds on when it's going to happen, it's got to be pretty short term. Like you can't just throw in next week, but it went day by day.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, best odds. Saturday start to, got a little worse. Sunday got a little worse than Monday. So I don't know. Maybe I'm buying the odds makers, but I think it's going to happen.
Great. It definitely could. You know, we're in a pretty dead time for sports going on right now. Baseball's going, of course. WNBA's going, but
Yeah, All-Star game tonight for WNBA.
cool. In Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. But yeah, well, there is going to be a trickle-down effect with LeBron, so there's going to be more to talk about with Peyton Watson, Jalen Duren one day.
Mathurin. Hezonja, of course.
Hezonja, of course. So some stuff one day. But for now, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, no one's stank smells better than your own stank. And that had nothing to do with JD's rapid fire. I had that prepared from earlier, but it's a tie-in. I mean, it's
true.
Do you consider that stank? I guess it is.
Yes.
Stank.
When it's your own, you can call it musk, though. It sounds better.
You're right, Elon.
Embrace the name.